All right, the New England Patriots find themselves in the news today for a lot of the right reasons. Look, this is a football team that obviously made a lot of big changes fundamentally on the coaching staff. Bill O'Brien is obviously their new offensive coordinator, and everyone has been hoping that O'Brien paired with Mac Jones will have a total flip of the switch from their 2022 campaign, and 2023 will be much better. And we've got an outstanding piece highlighting from recent practices exactly the strides that Mac Jones is making in this Patriots offense. And Miles, I think fans of the Patriots are going to be really excited by this report.
Yeah, Nick, I think that this is a great story for the Patriots fans going forward. It just shows the tremendous amount of change this team has undergone. It's completely a new unit, and I think it's going to be really exciting this season. Speaking of this season, though, Nick, I want to ask the Pats fans in the comment section below today, what game are you looking forward to? You start the season opening up with the Philadelphia Eagles. They were in the Super Bowl last year, going to be a tough matchup. You go all the way to the end, a finale against the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers, divisional rival. A lot of great games lining up for this season. So in the comment section below today, we want to know, what game are you most looking forward to out of them all this season? But Nick, let's get on into it. What has been looking so good at Patriots?
Yeah, so obviously this team is they're going to go as Mac Jones goes, right? That's the case with 99.9% of the teams in the NFL. Maybe the Tennessee Titans are the exact opposite, where the team's going to go how the quarterback goes. And obviously the Patriots fans and obviously all of New England is hoping that Mac Jones will go back to his 2021 performance, his rookie year, and forget all about 2022. And there's a report from Pat's Pulpit, a really great piece from a recent Patriots training camp practice, I think highlights that Mac Jones is going back to those good years. In fact, potentially even getting better. I'll go ahead and get into the report, Miles, if you'll throw it up. This is directly identifying one particular part of the practice. All right, from the report, with the ball on the 5-yard line, Mac Jones studied the New England Patriots defense lined up across from him. He didn't like what he saw, which led to a series of hand gestures. One to Juju Smith-Schuster to his right, one to Kevin Harris next to him in the shotgun, and finally one last peek out to Kendrick Bourne on his left. Jones then called for the snap and lofted the ball to the back end of the end zone where Smith-Schuster suddenly appeared to haul in a toe-tapping score. Matt called a good play against a good defensive call, and it worked in our favor, the receiver said. It was just good work. In a lot of ways, it looked like the quarterback those in New England become accustomed to throughout 2021, like I alluded to, when Josh McDaniels encouraged his rookie to make adjustments at the line of scrimmage. But as the new offense was installed last season, those powers were ultimately stripped from Jones. With new offensive coordinator Bill O'Brien in town, Jones is back to being encouraged to use his brain to his advantage. Miles, I think this is an outstanding news and a great report for Mac Jones and the Patriots, because Mac Jones' biggest strength, in my opinion, is his intelligence, is his ability to read a defense, make the right read, and get the ball out of his hands. I know there's obviously a lot of reasons to compare any Patriots quarterback to the great Tom Brady, but to be honest, stylistically, they're very similar, right? Mac Jones is not going to wow anybody with his velocity, even though I think his arm's gotten a lot stronger. He's not going to wow anybody with his footwork and his foot speed. His skill set, what he is great at, is reading a defense, making the right read, making the right throw on time, and allowing him to use his brain to recognize the defense and adjust the play as needed to allow him to be successful was a huge part of their offense that was lacking in 2022. I think this is a great sign that the Patriots offense is going to be 180 degrees different than they were last season, and they could be a very serious threat because we know their defense is going to be good. All right, Miles, I'll throw it over to you now. What are your thoughts on everything with this report involving Mac Jones and the Patriots?
Yeah, Nick, I think there's a lot of great stuff in this report. Let's go over what you read. Firstly, I think, like you said, Mac Jones using his brain, dissecting stuff, that's when he's going to shine. This guy isn't necessarily an athletic freak. Although he is very, very talented, he's not have the legs of a guy like Lamar Jackson or Justin Fields. He needs to use his brain, dissect the defenses, and call the plays that he makes comfortable. I see that more in a way like a guy like Aaron Rodgers, where he can, see stuff on the fly, make the calls that he needs to make. And finally, Bill O'Brien is in town, and it's an offensive coordinator that I think they've already immediately gelled more than Mac Jones has with anybody he has in his Patriots stead. Obviously, they're familiar with each other. They're back from the Alabama days. But I think Mac Jones and Bill O'Brien are building something special here, and it's an offense that Mac Jones is comfortable in, and that is the key to being able, to call hot routes, to make changes, audibles to the offense. You have to know the offense inside and out, and this is something that Mac Jones, I feel like it's showing he's very, very comfortable in, and it's starting to show in practice, Nick. But let's get to the second part of the article because there's more good stuff to dissect here. Of course, again, from the Pats Pulpit, it says, beyond the touchdown score to Smith-Schuster in the final play of a red area period, the quarterback has been vocal throughout the spring and summer at the line of scrimmage. And most importantly, Bill O'Brien is giving Jones the answers or the why he was left searching for all too many times last year. O'Brien lays out the operation times, and we're just trying to get out of a play, all of that stuff, and why behind a play, Jones said Thursday. I don't think that this system allows a quarterback, puts a lot on their plate, but it also allows us to know what to do to a play really fast. So I think it's a great system. So basically, in that part, they're just saying that this system, like we said, makes Mac Jones comfortable. It shows him the why of why he needs to switch in or out of something, and it doesn't put too much on his plate, just enough to where he can get in and out of stuff, Nick. And finally, at the last part, it says, at the catalyst of allowing Jones to operate on his own at the line of scrimmage is trust. The word the QB used to explain the theme of this year's training camp. As for O'Brien, the trust goes both ways. As the player, they trust that we're putting them that the time in, they're putting the time in too, so that when we get a meeting, we talk, it's okay. Look at this, look at that, relative to a play choice or whatever it is we're teaching. And when we go out on the field, they're trying to execute at the highest level through the preparation. That's what builds trust. So trust on both ends, Nick. I think this is just showing these guys are gelling really, really great together, and this offense looks dangerous. What do you think about this second part of the report?
Well, I think it's important to understand because we all are kind of guilty of short-term bias. We've seen what the Chiefs have done with Patrick Mahomes. We've seen what the Buffalo Bills have done with Josh Allen. We see what the Philadelphia Eagles in just a couple short seasons have done with Jalen Hurts. And I think a lot of people have fallen under the trap that the new model for success for the quarterback position in the NFL is a freak athlete who can make incredible throws or can do incredible things with his legs, things like that. That's actually not the historical recipe for success in the NFL. You can go back decades, right? You go back to Johnny Unitas, you go to Joe Montana, you go all the way, of course, to Tom Brady, to Aaron Rodgers, to Peyton Manning, to Drew Brees. The thinking man as a quarterback, a guy who can read the defense, make the throw on time, and be accurate, has long, and I believe will continue to be, the model for sustained success at the quarterback position. And I think the New England Patriots, under Bill O'Brien's offense and with Mac Jones going back to a system that allows him to use his thinking powers, again, the strength of his game, will make this offense so much better and a lot better than what people think. Because it's one of those things. This is what the Tom Brady Patriots were so crazy good. People forget, outside of Gronk, a lot of those offenses, especially the last half decade or so, didn't really have a lot of great players. They had a lot of good players, but not a lot of big-time superstars. That's because Brady was allowed to use his thinking powers, his accuracy, his decision-making to allow the offense to execute at a high level despite the high-level talent. If you have a smart quarterback, which I think Mac Jones is, if you have an accurate quarterback, which I think Mac Jones is, and you put him in a system like Bill O'Brien is doing to make smart reads on time, you don't need all this elite level talent. It helps, but you don't need it. And I think that's what we're seeing from the Patriots. And I think because of that, their offense is not going to be bad like it was last year. They're not going to be average. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people to the upside. I don't think they're going to be the number one scoring team in the NFL, but don't be surprised at all if they finish around 8, 10, 12 mark. And with their elite level defense, that's enough to get in the playoffs.